So we're going to transition now into technology. And Jeff, I'm going to keep picking on you on this one. So the ride sourcing businesses have been a hot topic, certainly amongst millennials. I use Uber and the likes. So I'd like to know from your perspective, how do you view ride sourcing businesses like Uber impacting our industry?
Yeah, and I mean, if you watch the news this week, you sure don't want to be an Uber driver. After what happened with this guy from Taco Bell, that was horrible. But the reality is, the Uber thing is beautiful for our industry because of the fact that all it is more miles going on people's personal cars, and they service those cars in the traditional aftermarket. So, you know, Uber's really shaken up the taxi industry, but for us, it's beneficial for our business if that continues to expand, because you just take a look at the taxi cabs you might have drove over here from the airport this week. There's a lot of unperformed maintenance that happens in taxi fleets. And so they, instead of repairing them, they'll run them to the ground and then send them to the junkyard and things don't get fixed. Where on the Uber side of things, people are still going to have great pride in their second largest asset typically compared to their house. And they're going to fix it through our traditional channels.
Well, when I see telematics, it's at its core, it's a very strong marketing tool. And when the car can start to talk, and I always say keep telematics as simple as possible. When the car can raise its hand and say, it says I need something, the aftermarket needs to be there. When it says I'm not being driven properly, the aftermarket doesn't have to be there, the parents or the fleet owner does. So you have car care related information, and then you have driver behavior information. We as the aftermarket, we can look at the big gamut of it all, but at one point, DOEs are going to share some of their data with us because the consumers are going to say we want it to route to wherever it's going to go. Telematics data is just, at one point it gets to the cloud, so from our software perspective, we don't care whose data it is, let's just route it where it has to go. But don't lose sight of the marketing power of it, because that's what we're all looking at, because if there's $60+ billion in underperformed maintenance, I'll tell you what, when the car raises its hand and says I need a timing belt, the customer's going to do it.